Die, you ex-scum. I'm busy playing a really amazing game, one of the best games that was released last year, called Metroid Dread. What? Did you just ask me? Ah, don't worry, I'll actually tell you. Yeah. Hi guys, it's me, the gaming Dr. Mada. And I have to admit, when it comes to the first party games, Nintendo really doesn't play games. And yeah, also when it comes down to silent protagonists, they're the masters of that art. Let's talk about a game that honestly blew me away. Let's talk about Metroid Dread. Let's get into the history, my friends. In 1986, before I was a freckle in my parents' eyes, Yoshihiro Sakamoto developed a game by the name of Metroid for the NES. This was an action-adventure side-scrolling game where you controlled an interplanetary bounty hunter who protected the galaxy from pirates and from beings who were trying to harness the power of a parasitic creature known as the Metroid. This game was also revolutionary in that it was one of the first games that ever allowed people to play as a female character by the name of Samus Aran. Since then, she has become an icon not only for Nintendo but for the gaming world at large. The second game that came out on the original Game Boy was called Metroid 2: Samus Returns. It was good for the little handheld console, but the franchise truly showed off what it was made of in 1994 when Super Metroid came out and blew us all away with its stunning visuals, great gameplay, and unique design on the Super Nintendo. It was with this game and the Castlevania franchise that the term Metroidvania was born, as both games had similar structures in terms of map design and gameplay. However, despite the obvious popularity, there have only been 11 games, minus remakes, collections, and a certain pinball game, which have been released for this franchise. The Prime series became popular in the 2000s, which mixed first person with Samus's abilities to make an epic game from what I've heard. Sadly, after that, people have been waiting for the fourth iteration of this game since 2007. Don't worry guys, it'll come out eventually. Other games came out too, ranging from good to average, until that is, Other M came out and caused a little bit of a pause for the series. We did have that game called Metroid Prime Federation Force that came out in 2016 on the Nintendo 3DS, but we don't really talk about that game. Finally, we had a remake of Metroid Samus Returns, which was a pretty decent return to form of the 2D side-scrolling games and good graphics of old. I am lucky enough to have played 4 of them: Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, Super Metroid, and finally Metroid Dread. I know many people, if they ever watch this video, and again, please share me on all social media, will shout at me that I've never played the Prime series, but don't worry, we'll remedy that one day. Metroid Dread was announced in 2005, around June, in an issue of Game Informer. More details were raised about this game in the magazine's online forums. However, according to Yoshihiro Sakamoto, the technology was too limited to create the game that he envisioned, as he tried to release it twice on the DS, first in the aforementioned 2005 and then again in 2008. At the time, the game wasn't even called Metroid Dread and had similar visuals to Metroid Fusion. From there, the game went into development hell. In 2010, the story of the game was said to have already been written and completed, but no game was there for it at the time. Rumors and stories of the game kept on circulating around, but nothing concrete was truly given. That is, until 2021 on June 15th, at that year's Nintendo Direct, where the game was finally announced. The trailer looked amazing and rekindled hope in the franchise that had kinda dimmed over the past decade. With new graphics and a new suit that looked awesome on Samus. We were given a few details of the game and that it was going to finally come out that year on the 8th of October 2021. Well, that was a bit of a history, but sums it up pretty well. Let's get into the presentation of this patient. The game takes place sometime after Metroid Fusion. Samus is sent to a new planet called ZDR after she is sent a video by the Galactic Federation showing that there's a dangerous X-parasite that she thought she had destroyed might still exist on this planet. She wonders if the X are still out there, or if they really are extinct. Samus is told that specially designed robots by the name of E.M.M.Is, also known as extraplanetary multiform mobile identifiers, were sent prior to arrival to investigate if what was seen on the video was true. However, once they had arrived on ZDR, the Federation lost contact with them. Samus arrives on the planet and encounters a very aggressive Chazo who kicks her butte and drains her of her powers. Now it's up to Samus to search the large world of ZDR, get to the bottom of what's going on the planet. Why are the E.M.M.Is not responding to the Federation, and why the X-parasite has suddenly appeared on this planet. Also trying to regain her powers as well. And yeah, that is the brief, spoiler-free version of the story. It gets a little deeper here and there, but you really have to play it to find out. Let's go into the signs and symptoms. Normally for signs and symptoms, I start with the characters, but we'll save that for last this time. I want to start off with the visuals and gameplay. This game has really smooth visual graphics for this genre, and it's really great. Enemy design, especially the bosses, are visually appealing, and each room does a lot to show you what part of the world you are on. It's very colorful and visually it pops out to you, especially on the OLED screen of my Nintendo Switch, and even better on my large screen TV. Then we move on to the gameplay. My goodness, the gameplay here is perfect. I played other Metroid games and here they have perfected the formula. The shooting feels so satisfying, and the speed and fluidity that Samus shows as you move her around are just so incredible and pleasing to do. Samus gets stronger as you slowly unlock new abilities to help make her become an even greater badass than she already is. The E.M.M.Is are also terrifying and intimidating foes. They're limited to certain areas on the map, but once you're in those areas, maneuvering your way through them does actually build a lot of tension. Encountering one of these really makes your hair stand on end, especially when you have no means of destroying them till further on, when you unlock a specific weapon that helps you with that. Each E.M.M.I is kind of like a unique puzzle to get around, and once you've figured it out, it's so much fun. Samus also gains various abilities like improving her blaster, making enemies easier to take down. Little bombs she drops when she's a morph ball which help her solve puzzles and traverse the environment. A grapple beam, and my favorite skill, Shine Spark. Once you get this skill and learn its intricacies, you'll honestly feel unstoppable and proud of yourself. The boss battles are always epic as you face off foes that are fair but challenging. Puzzle solving helps Samus to get to new areas, get ammo and skills. As you progress, you see yourself evolving into an epic bounty hunter. Now, let me talk about Samus herself. She is just incredible. The game shows a level of confidence and strength in her that shines through as you play this game. I love her as a character, and even though throughout this game she only has 1 or 2 sentences in the entire thing, when she does say them, it really hits hard and is very impactful, and honestly gave me chills. Her character growth occurs as the story does, as you improve her abilities, turning her into the most dangerous bounty hunter in the universe, without saying a word. The only other character you kind of interact with is E.M.M.I, which is an AI, who is a bit of a douchebag. The AI gives Samus some helpful information about what to expect, where to go, what skill and progress she has made, and all that. E.M.M.I can be an ass here and there with his condescending talk, but he is otherwise okay in his limited interactions. In terms of my issues with the game, there are still times where you do genuinely get lost of where to go next at times. You can backtrack trying to find the right path, but end up feeling like a headless chicken. There were a few times where I was lost for a while trying to remember the places of interest that I could return to. You can mark places on the map, but it isn't that helpful. But I guess it's part of the game experience. Otherwise, besides this minor gripe, I can't really complain much about the overall package with this game. So yeah, you've heard my opinion on this game and everything now. Let's give it a nice big old diagnosis. As you can tell, I love this game. Another reason to own a Switch. The gameplay, simple but complex story that unfolds, the fluidity of the game that really made this game amazing and probably, honestly, the best Metroid game in the franchise. That's why my diagnosis is obvious. This is a supreme patient. I have no complaints and I honestly would recommend it for everyone. everyone that loves games. You will not regret it. You will thank me, and honestly, you will give this one of the top 10 ratings for the last year, and I regret nothing. I love it. You should play it now, nurse. Or else. Let's go on to my recommendations. What can I say? This game does almost everything perfectly. I really can't suggest much for it. I guess maybe better guidance to the next point in the late game, as multiple areas do get confusing to traverse unless you search hard. Other than that, I love this game. Pray this isn't the last we see of Samus for another decade, and better marketing would be nice. Before I go, as usual, I want to recommend someone. I know I've probably recommended him before, but please go check out Jake Baldino's channel. He's honestly a really chill, down-to-earth guy, and I really like his content. I really just want to push support to people I feel are very positive and fun to listen to. Also check out his secondary channel, or main channel, whichever channel, Game Ranks, where they have a bunch of interesting top 10s about various things about gaming that you might enjoy, and you get to listen to Falcon and all his fun stuff. And Jake, looking forward to a pizza with you one day. Otherwise, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you always for the support. Love you guys, and till next time, guys. On to the next patient.